Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is August 8th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery as of yesterday. And if you remember, we had some thunderstorms moving across some of southeast California near the Salton Sea out there. You can see them drifting off to the west here. They actually made it towards the higher terrain of the peninsular range there, and that would be about 11:21 a.m. yesterday morning. Those tailed off, but we did get some additional development a bit further south. And if you look across the Sierra Nevada, you can also see some cumulus built up, but it didn't quite trigger a lightning strike, although we did bring some additional thunderstorm activity just north of the Mexico border there. You see, if we went through yesterday afternoon, you can see a couple more of those as we went, about 2 o'clock or so. And then we scroll off in towards the nighttime hours. You can see all that lightning activity across Arizona. We scroll on in towards this morning, and you can see the marine layer is punched into some of the valley areas, the Bay Area, some central coast, and even into Southern California. But right now, the Los Angeles metro coastal areas and San Diego not doing too bad. So we're going to dive into those details. We're going to take a look at the extended forecast as well, because we have some interesting troughing here showing up on the west coast of North America that could suppress temperatures here. It's not likely to bring a lot of precipitation. There's always that chance, but the big story from it would be dropping down the temperatures across the area. So taking a look at what's been going on in the infrared satellite imagery, Fabio, I believe it was, and Amelia have now merged. It's now just tropical storm Amelia out there. And again, no threat to southwest USA. You can kind of see the monsoon moisture here ebb and flow across the Sierra Madre, portions of Arizona, pushing into California, a little bit up into Nevada there also. So we take a look at the storm chances. This is for Saturday. National Weather Service San Diego painting a chance of thunderstorm activity across the higher terrain mainly. Can't rule one out drifting out over the lower terrain. You see San Diego at 9%, but definitely a better chance across the higher terrain. And you can see Joshua Tree. Look at that, 28% here for Saturday. This is the locally critical fire weather conditions that are still out there. This is Eureka, California, and some low relative humidity and some gusty winds, 25 miles per hour. You guys know the drill. Easier to start fires and easier to spread them when you've got some wind going on with it. So looking at what's going on here, this is Redding. You can see Red Bluff. You got Marysville, Auburn, Sacramento, Stockton, and Vacaville out there as well. So you can see we're going to be dropping these temperatures off a bit as we go through next week. So I know a lot of people will be looking forward to that coming up, and I'll show you some of the weather models on that here in a moment and why that is going to occur. This is for Phoenix, Arizona. It does include portions of California, and you can see it does include Joshua Tree and Desert Center, Blight there. But all these storms could contain potentially deadly lightning and some blowing dust with them. There's also a wind threat that we're going to look at here in a moment also. And this kind of highlights that here on Las Vegas. The National Weather Service was created this morning at 5:30 a.m. We do have the damaging wind threat today, up over 50 miles per hour, blowing dust. And you guys know the drill, blowing stuff around, and watch out on the lakes as well. So I took a look at this weather station here yesterday, just off the California-Mexico border. This is just into California. You can see there'd be Las Vegas and Phoenix, of course, Southern California right there. And you can see it does pick up a lot of information here. It shows that it was getting lightning in that area about 18 hours ago. We can zoom in even quicker, further here, and you can see that lightning activity that went on through yesterday afternoon, right about to about 2:41 p.m. before that lightning stopped in that general vicinity. But you can also see lightning the previous few days also. So if you want one of these weather stations, click on that link down below to save 10% off. Highly recommended. So taking a look at the high resolution rapid refresh, let's scroll through today, and you can see some of these thunderstorms here as we go through the afternoon. And you can't rule out a thunderstorm or two across the Sierra Nevada today. Maybe a little bit better chance here, and you can see, of course, across western Arizona, trying to drift a little bit there into California. And we scroll on in through tonight into tomorrow morning. You can see right up against the Arizona-California border there again, to the peninsular range, down into Baja, and maybe the Sierra Nevada, again, east slopes as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Now, taking a look at today, you can see they do have it for some of the Sierra Nevada. I mentioned that yesterday, probably would include that, and indeed they did. And you can see, again, off to the east of San Diego and Los Angeles, across to the desert areas. And there is that wind threat here that it does include portions of Utah, just clips Nevada, and very close to the California border. And, of course, includes Flagstaff and portions of Arizona. So you can see tornado and nothing but stuff on the East Coast. The wind threat is what is occurring here across portions of Flagstaff, Cedar City, and no hail threat out there right now today, at least for severe hail. And this would be for tomorrow. It does include some portions of Southeast California, some of the deserts, just clips Las Vegas there. And this would be day 3, something similar also, still including portions of Southeast California. So looking at what's going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So we're going to take a look off into the extended a little bit here. And you can see this would be Amelia here, the state of California. There's the Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left. You can see the ridge in place over the Southwest USA. You got the European here on the left versus the GFS. The GFS is the American model. This is the European model that has a very good reputation for being quite accurate. and usually does beat the GFS, but the GFS isn't that far behind, really, all things considered. But if we scroll on into the future here, you can kind of see the ridge hanging out a bit. But when we start developing this trough as we go through Sunday, this is Sunday evening now, we're going on to Monday morning. You can see both models have some semblance of the trough. European a little bit more aggressive with it as we go on into the early to mid portion of next week. And you kind of see that would dampen the heights with the ridge, and it would allow us to cool down a bit. And then we've got some fun stuff showing up in the extended, because the GFS and the European continue to show some troughing out here as we go out of about 180 hours out. This is developing, and you can see it's pretty notable there right off the coast of North America. And yeah, that would be interesting as well. The European's starting to develop a pretty strong, excuse me, a pretty strong ridge here also. So we'll have to watch that, because this could warm things up depending on just exactly how this trough positions. A good thing is off into the future. We'll have plenty of time to watch it and break it down. You can see the GFS much weaker with the ridge across the southwest USA. So if we scroll on through a little bit further out in the extended forecast, you can kind of see things really start to diverge once you go over 300 hours out, so you don't really worry about that too much. Looking at Amelia here, you can see it's right off the coastal area of Baja there, and several hundred miles actually, but it is a tropical storm. It's not supposed to remain a tropical storm for long. By tomorrow morning, it looks like it'll be a depression and then weaken and move off and drift off harmlessly to the west. But if we take a look at that, you can see that slug of moisture here, and you can kind of see that moisture bubbling around here associated with the monsoon. We do get a slug of moisture up into Baja, but it doesn't make too much headway into Southern California, at least not over the next few days or so, and on and through next week. Now, taking a look at the National Blended Models daily max 2-meter temperature here. So you'll see kind of the gradual cool down as we go through. This is today, this is tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can see Redding and Sacramento and the Valley areas, Bakersfield dropping off. So that would be quite nice. You can kind of see they stay down a bit here as we go all the way in through next weekend. And we'll be revisiting this and kind of watching to see what kind of weather model agreement we get as we go through next week on some of that troughing, and just how is that ridge going to bounce back there across the southwest USA, or is it going to remain on the weaker side? All things that we'll be watching, all good questions. So looking at the 8 to 14 day, they kind of introduced this below average across some of the west coast, no doubt, because of that troughing. This is August 15th through 21. We'll see how that goes, of course, and you can kind of see this mixed bag of below and above average across the southwest as well. Now, looking at the smoke forecast, again, the Park Fire producing pretty decent amounts of smoke. And there's another fire kicking off here. I'll show you the name of it here in a moment. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but there's a Park Fire here. And it does show this flaring up pretty well. It'll be bringing some surface smoke across Lake Tahoe and perhaps Reno, portions of the Sierra Nevada here as we go on in through Thursday night. Now, I think that what is the Crozier fire? It's relatively small right now, but I believe this is the one the HUR is highlighting. It shows it blowing up pretty well. So it's only 571 acres right now. And the Park Fire, 422,000 acres here, continues to move northeast here on the northeast perimeter of that fire. So yeah, heads up for that. You can see it's approaching Highway 36 as we speak right now, and there would be Highway 32 here. Now, looking over the next few days, we have the W there means windy and dry conditions. You see for Friday, you kind of increase that here across a lot of Northern California, down through some of the Central California and the Bay Area even, and Saturday as well. And you kind of see a lightning threat there across Eastern Oregon. And then Sunday, similar conditions there across Northern Nevada. But yeah, so we'll just continue to watch that trough. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing there on the weather models, kind of keeping things suppressed here a bit, giving some relief here, because we have been quite warm through the month of July and portions of early August already. So I know a lot of people will be looking forward to that. So we'll continue to break that down day by day. Click like and subscribe. Otherwise, we'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.